All right, welcome back to Beyond the Skills with Big Mama Rood and me, Chris Rood. This is probably our 7th, 8th podcast. Took a little break for a little while. We had to make some adjustments in our company. Market pulled back really hard. As you know, in real estate, interest rates pretty much doubled. But we're back in the saddle. We got a lot of deals going. We've got more deal flow than we did.
Busy now.
Yeah, we're getting really busy now, so it's good.
So busy we don't have any time to podcast.
Yeah, but we're gonna start doing these probably. I would like to try to do them at least maybe once a week. We're gonna start pumping these out because things change in the economy. News comes out. I think it's good to have a breath of fresh air of some realness. They can hear the real Rood, right? It might be rude, but it's real, right?
That's a great way to put it.
Put
that on your hat.
It might be rude, but it's real.
That's right.
But I mean, we got they're trying to arrest Trump right now. We got Bud Light going sideways. We got Target going sideways. Ford's even trying to go sideways. I mean, it's getting pretty wild out there, right?
You need to sell your truck.
Oh my, yeah, probably. We need to sell it all. I mean, this is getting out of hand. But as we get closer to the election of 2024, you guys can mark my words. The country will start seeing fireworks. Shit's gonna start getting so crazy. They're gonna start distracting you. They're gonna try to figure out a way to arrest Trump, even though the Democrats and Joe Biden, his son, and all the criminals in Washington are complete white collar scumbag criminals doing whatever they want. They can get away with whatever they want because all the 3-letter alphabet agencies like the FBI, CIA, and all those guys are all bought and paid for. So they're just covering the tracks of all the Biden crime family. So it will get uglier and uglier as we get closer to the election. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm telling you, you are forewarned. I think we got 16 to 18 months right before the election, and the shit may hit the fan before the election. But I can tell you this without a shadow of a doubt: as we get closer to it, the world will get crazier. You're going to get more propaganda, like you're seeing now. All the LGBT stuff, which if you're LGBT and you watch this, which I highly doubt anybody follows me that's LGBT, but if you do, I have nothing against you, right? I don't. What I do have a problem with is you shoving down my throat every other day who you like to have sex with and how you act like a sissy girl. I don't go around all day telling everybody, hey, I bang Big Mama Rood. Hey, I have sex with a woman. Hey, me and Big Mama Rood bang 2 to 3 times a week.
Well, I hope you don't do that.
Well, I maybe should start telling everybody that, because apparently, we're supposed to know that.
I don't want to know what's in your personal business, and I don't want to have to look at flags about your personal business. I'm not interested. I'd rather just.
Well, why don't you start posting on your social media that I have sex with my husband all the time? I mean, that's pretty much what I like men, and I have sex with men all the time.
I don't want to hate on anybody.
Yeah.
I'm like you. Do what you want to do. I just don't want to hear about it.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't.
I don't want my kids to hear about it. I don't want to go to Disney and it's all over the place because I'm there with my children and it's a children's place. I'm just that put me over the edge.
Well, and they got a whole month, but we get 1 day for our soldiers that defend this country.
Adds up, really.
Well, it's not supposed to add up, Mama.
That's the problem, and that's what we're going to start seeing more and more.
Yes.
Things just not adding up.
This is all propaganda, folks. Mm-hmm. This is made to confuse you. This is
sidetrack.
Made to get you all stirred up and angry in this. I'm not angry. I know what's going on. This is a communist revolution they're trying to have. So I understand what's going on. They're trying to intentionally make you upset, to confuse you, to weaken you. And they're hoping that they can get this next generation of kids to get as soft as they possibly can so they can control you. Right? That if they can control the men in society, if they can make all the men soft and confused, and a quarter of them are chopping their peckers off and trying to hook up with other dudes, dude, that's a society that can be controlled. Mm-hmm. Period. So don't believe all the bullshit with Bud Light. What you have to understand is when Bud Light, Target, Ford, and all these guys, there's 3 big conglomerate hedge funds that have bought up everything. That's Vanguard, which is the biggest one, BlackRock, and I think Blackstone. They own all the major corporations. They own Google, they own ESPN, they own Disney, they own the big pharmaceutical companies. So they don't give a shit if they lose money. They're pushing an agenda. Mm-hmm. When you understand that, then you understand why none of this makes sense. Because who would do that and intentionally lose $5 billion or $7 billion in market cap of their own money? Who would do that? They don't care.
They're being told what to do.
Well, they don't care. They have so much money, it doesn't matter.
Well,
They've
true.
stolen so much money via the money supply, Federal Reserve, and the government in cahoots with them. They don't care if they lose billions of dollars. They're shaping and molding the future society with all this cultural degradation. That's why they don't care about the money. They have endless supplies of money.
Well, tell them what we were watching last night on the documentary, and at the end, the last episode, what he was promoting.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's documentary? Yeah, he goes. Yeah, he was promoting the
vaccine.
The vaccine, yeah.
Yep. Promoting the vaccine right at the end of the movie, and it's like, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were over that. But I mean, that documentary might, in his defense, it might have been made a couple years ago. Who knows? I don't know. But nothing makes sense because it's not supposed to make any sense. That's what you need to first understand, first and foremost. Guys, you're going to have to, for you guys to almost navigate all the bullshit on this planet, you almost have to be an outlier, and you have to do the opposite of everybody else. You probably should not go to college. You probably should start a service-based business if you want to make money, right? That's going to be the easiest entry into trying to make money, right? I see these kids, and I made a reel about it the other day. I see these kids every time I drive up to Starbucks. They look like they got in a fight with a tackle box. In the tackle box one, they got nuts and bolts all over their face. When I pull up to that, just about every time I pull up to drive through it at Starbucks, they got tattoos from head to toe, which I don't have any problems with tattoos. I mean, it's not a big deal at all. But when you got tattoos head to toe, nuts and bolts, big old things coming out of your ear this wide, and harpoons going through your nose and shit hanging from your face, I can't. It's hard to take you serious. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this generation going to survive 20, 30 years from now? Because I can guarantee you that 20-year-old kid that's done that to himself is not going to be happy that he did that to himself 20 years from now when he's 40, right? Case in point, that butterfly tattoo you got in your ass, what does it look like now? It looks like a freaking dragonfly. Are you happy about that tattoo that you got when you were 17?
Well, you keep reminding me about it. And I don't see it every day because I put it somewhere where I don't have to look at it.
Well, I see it 2 to 3 times a week. And it looks like a dragonfly now. It was a beautiful butterfly.
Listen, I was 18 and stupid.
That's my point. That's my exact point. But they're pushing this cultural degradation amongst these kids like it's okay, like it's cool, right? None of these kids are going to get hired by a business that's going to take them serious and better make 6 figures a year so that they can support their family. But they think it's cool and trendy to look like that, right? And I'm not beating you up if you got ear. I pierced my ear when I was a sophomore in high school. I was trying to be.
When you were dating me.
I was trying to be somebody I wasn't, right? And that's the key point. You're trying to be somebody you ain't, right? It's just not natural. But you probably shouldn't go to college. That's first and foremost thing that if you unless you're specializing, your doctor, attorney, nurse, engineering, there's $1.8 trillion worth of student debt right now that can't be paid. And it just keeps racking up and racking up. It's a failed system. And when you understand that the big banks and the colleges got together in cahoots to push this agenda that you have to have a college degree to be successful, it was all a part of an agenda to get the banks rich, right? Along with the colleges.
Well, and you can't
default.
You can't default on it.
Tell the story, Patty, about the girl that you had told me the other day.
Well, I'm in a lot of moms groups. I'm a mom, and this woman was like, she's like, I literally can't afford my student debt. Like, I can't pay it anymore. Like, what are my options? And there weren't many options. There really weren't many options for her, and she was asking if she could file what
bankruptcy
and you can't. I didn't realize that you can't.
No.
So
it never goes away. You can file bankruptcy on just about everything, but you can't do it on college debt.
No. And most of these teachers owe more than they make. It's just that it just doesn't add up. Like, if you're going to school and spending so much money for a job that's not going to pay you to fulfill those loans, like, what are you doing?
Well, it's even like nursing, right? We got our buddy that's in the nursing staffing business, Taylor, right? And these nurses, they're all quitting in windroves because they know almost just as much as the doctor, and they make peanuts compared to the doctor. And the hospitals are making billions of dollars, and they're barely getting paid. And there's a huge nursing shortage, and they're saying that 30% of nurses say they're going to be changing their careers in the next 5 years, is what an article I read, because that same point. Like, you go to college thinking, oh, I'm gonna have a college degree, I'm gonna be an RN, and I'm gonna be able to support my family. Good luck if you married and you got car notes, insurance, a house payment, and 2 kids and a dog, and a house note. Good luck trying to survive, right? So I'm telling you all this because you've been sold a bill of goods, folks. And this is coming from somebody. I have a college degree. Patty has a college degree. I graduated in 2005 from UL. You graduated when Patty? 2003?
You graduated in 06. I graduated in 05.
Okay, I graduated in 06. You 05. Okay, so we both have college degrees. So I'm not talking out of my ass.
I never used it though.
Yeah. I went to school for, I did general studies just to get out, but I concentrated in business. So I was able to take 3 or 4 business classes, and I can't honestly say that they taught me anything about business.
To be honest, I concentrated in communications, and I took a few communication classes, which were okay. But I learned more waiting tables than I did with my 4-year degree, with just how to communicate, how to serve others, how to, talk to people, how to sell.
Yep.
I learned way more waiting tables than I did in college.
100%. I think every person's learned a wait table. I waited tables at Outback Steakhouse for 2 years, at Copeland's, which is no longer open, but it forces you to communicate.
Yep.
Folks, the greatest skill you can develop if you want to make money, and this is why salespeople are the highest paid people on the planet, sales job wise, is the art and skill of learning how to communicate and communicate effectively. If you can learn that, if you can talk to people, you can write your ticket. You can get any job. You can start a business. This is why I was good at all the businesses that I started, because I was good at sales, right? So, and let's maybe get into that, because I know we have a lot of young people follow us. We got 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 18-year-olds that tell me, man, I watch podcasts, I love it. I'm going to tell you what I did, right, and what you should do.
And what we're telling our kids to do.
And what we're telling, look, we have 2 kids that graduated high school already. Neither one of them are going to college.
Nope.
Neither one of them they're learning. The first one's kind of, he's got his own little journey he's going through right now. But the second one, Aiden, that's just graduated, he's working with our contractor, learning
skills,
real life skills, right? He is skilling up, and he's learning the construction business. He's building fences. He's doing demos right now. He's painting. He's putting in floors. He needs to learn the business. We're in the real estate game,
and he needs to learn how to work hard, sweat, like true work.
Labor's good for you. It's good for your mindset. It really is. You don't know that as a kid, but my dad worked me like a dog, and I hated him for it. But now it created such a work ethic that almost I have an unfair advantage, because I can really outwork most people. Yeah. And I think twice about it. So hard work is an absolute skill, and you need to learn it, right? Because you're not going to get anywhere in life just thinking you're going to go to college, sail off on the sunset, get a 401k, and all your problems are going to go away. No. How many of our friends we know have money problems that were super smart, straight A's, valedictorian, got all the degrees, and they struggle. It's an absolute travesty that these people have been sold a bill of goods thinking that if they get all this education, all their problems are solved. No. They just solved all the big banks and colleges' problems. That's what they did. They got them rich. They got them wealthy, thinking that they were going to school and make multiple 6 figures and have a great life and build a lot of wealth. That's just not how the real world works. The real world works on real skills that service the real economy. This is why I've been promoting to you guys, and you've been hearing me push service-based businesses. That services the real economy, right? When's the last time you tried calling a landscaper? How backed up are as a landscaper?
I had to call 5 or 6 of them just to get an appointment.
Half of them probably won't answer their phone.
Especially that too. Like, if you have a company like that, you actually answer the phone, you call people back, and you show up on time.
You got a business. You're gonna make all the money you want.
Yeah, you golden. And I'll overpay for the fact that you show up on time and you're doing an excellent job, and I could trust you.
Here's the thing. Landscaping, lawn care, plumbing, HVAC, contracting, roofing. We're starting a junk removal business. We just launched it. We finally got all of our paperwork set up. We're launching ads to start doing that. I'm opening that business up for my son. And that's a great business, by the way, junk removal, because it's symbiotic to what we already do in real estate, because we're always doing cleaning out, when people move out. So I'm like, well, how can I just virtually integrate that into my business and create that business for my son? So, and anybody can do that. It doesn't have a barrier to entry. You don't have to have a license. Like HVAC, you got to have a license, a contractor's license. Plumbing, you got to have a contractor's license.
But the trade schools are way more affordable than college.
You can get a trade school degree, I think, for about $7 to $10,000, $10 to $15,000.
I haven't looked in it. I don't really know the price.
It might have went up.
It's way cheaper than college, and it's quicker.
Yeah.
You know,
And it teaches you a real skill,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you can go to school and learn how to weld, be a machinist. And now, and I'm not, this podcast is built for entrepreneurs, right? So if you follow me and you're not an entrepreneur, I realize that I'm painting a broad brush and generalizing, saying that, you know, everybody should start a business. I don't think everybody should start a business. I preach
But everybody
to
should
entrepreneurs.
learn a skill.
A skill. But I preach to entrepreneurs because I want to help the young entrepreneur, because I didn't have this help when I was a 20-year-old. I had to figure all this out. If I'd have known what I know now in my 20s, I'd be worth a lot more. And we tell you what we did. I started a service-based business, even though I had a college degree. Right? You laughed at me every day when I come home full of oil. I was washing cars and changing oil while I was going to college. And then I started an auto glass business, right? So I started doing car wash and oil change, auto glass business. Pull up to somebody's car, I would change their oil, wash their car, rotate their tires, and fix a chip in the windshield. I'd make $250 on one car. And this is back in 2004 and 5.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for a 21-year-old, 20-year-old. It might take me an hour and a half, right? So things of that nature that service the real economy are what's going to boom here soon, because we have such a shortage of real workers servicing the real economy, because everybody's got a college degree and just wants to show up at a corporate job and then make $200,000 a year with a 401k. Well, guess what? There's too many people out there like that now. A college degree is no longer valuable. Because why?
Too much competition.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah, everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one. You know, you got all these degrees, you know, freaking gender studies now, and liberal arts degree, and underwater basket weaving. No, that's not real, but you know what I mean. I mean, it's out of control. It's out of control. So you should not go to college. Most of you guys should stop going to college. It's a failed system. This is what I would do if I'm 20 years old right now. I just graduated college. Well, I just graduated high school, and you say you're 18. If you can skip the stupidity stage, and the stupidity stage is probably like 17 to 21 to 22. Yeah. I didn't skip that, unfortunately. I was really stupid and partied a lot and did drugs and almost blew my life up a couple times, almost killed myself. I mean, I was wild, right? If you can skip that, guys, if you listen to this and you 18, 19, 20, and you can not go to the clubs, and just what I would do, I would go work for a service-based business to learn the trade. Whether that's HVAC, whether that's plumbing, whether that's landscaping, or lawn care, whatever it may be, car wash like I did, and auto glass and oil change, junk removal. Anybody can do that. Learn the trade, get that service going. If you're working for somebody, so you can learn the business. You may not want to just start it on. If you're not quite antiquated with business and communication, you may want to just work for somebody for a little while. Learn the business, save your money, work on your credit. This is one thing that they don't talk about in college, how important credit is.
No, they ruin your credit in college.
Yes,
they offer you all these credit cards and then you blow yourself up.
You blow yourself up.
Yeah.
That's one thing I can say. My mom did this for me, and a beautiful thing
Yeah.
is that when I was 18, she said, "Chris, let's go get a credit card. I'll co-sign for you so you can start building your credit." I never forgot that. My mom did that for me when I was 18. I do that for all our boys now.
Yeah.
We did that for our first two boys. Credit is the first. I'm going to write this down, and you should too. Credit is the first thing you need to work on, guys. Get your credit right so you can borrow money. That gives you leverage. That gives you power. Once you do that, you can get credit cards. You start maybe get up a $10,000 limit. Then you take those credit cards and you go buy a truck and a trailer, or whatever it may be, you know, equipment for your HVAC company or your roofing company. Once you've worked for somebody and built the cash up, and then you start learning the art of sales, right? To where you can start picking up jobs and talking to people and negotiating. Because as long as if you understand the service, that's fine. If you understand how to do the work, but you still got to go get the work. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna have to understand. Let me back up. Actually, you need to understand marketing, because I was really good at sales in my 20s and 30s, but what I wasn't really good is at marketing. I mean, we built all our business organically, me going door to door. But you guys have so many more resources than I did.
Yes.
Facebook ads,
Yes.
PPC, Google, SEO. I didn't have all this, or I just didn't understand it, didn't know how powerful it is now. Now, you know, from me doing, you know, building a brand, building out my real estate company through marketing and sales, that gives you an extra lift, leverage. If you understand marketing, sales is great, but if you don't have any leads coming in to sell, you're dead in the water. I had to go physically go door knock. I went door knocking, door to you know that I went door to door.
Yeah.
B2B sales when I had all my mechanic shops. We were slow. I would go down the street and just go from business to business handing cards. It worked, but I could have did it exponentially faster if I understand marketing and did paid ads. understand how you can do paid ads, Facebook ads, direct mail, cold calling, PPC, SEO. If you don't know what any of that is, Google it, right? It's all marketing strategies.
YouTube is a fantastic way to learn all these things and how to do it. Like, just search. I would say just study all these things. Yeah,
YouTube it. Or hire me, right? Partner, come to one of my events. This is all we talk about. I can start any business in any market as long as there's a demand for it, because I know how to market, I know how to sell, and I have an insane work ethic. That's the 3 things you need to understand. Write that down. Know how to market, know how to sell, and have an insane work ethic. And what Mama Rood just said earlier, answer your phone. Show up. Do the work. Do what you say and say what you do, and you'll make all the money you need. Yep. Once you do that for maybe 2 to 5 years, you start stacking cash. You maybe got a couple $100,000 saved. Then what you need to do is start rolling that into real estate. But you can't just go buy any real estate. You have to do what we talk about all the time in my program, in my coaching, and all the masterminds. You got to do direct to seller marketing to find off-market deals with equity. Then you got to learn how to raise private money, right? And then you need to learn how to flip, and then you know how to do buy and hold, right? So there's a gradual education system to real estate investing, no different than when you go to college, right? Wholesaling, which is direct seller marketing, essentially, that's elementary school. Junior high is learning how to raise private money, because if you know how to raise private money, you can't flip houses or buy real estate. Unless you got good credit and you put in 20% down, which you will do that as you grow and you get your credit and you save money. But if you put in 20% down all these deals like we were doing, what would happen to us? Ran out of money. Yep. You got to learn how to raise private money. That's junior high. Then high school is flipping, which all these HGTV stars are telling you how to flip houses. It's not,
It's stressful.
It's very stressful. Most flippers hate their lives. You got to be most guys don't do that really well. You want to do turn and burns, and you got to buy it so cheap that
can't lose.
You can't lose because it's very easy. You will lose. I mean, we lost $250,000 on flips the past 6. Well, not all just in flips, but some other deals just from because the market pulled back so hard. And there's guys out there that lost millions. I consider myself lucky. I only lost $250,000. That really wasn't a big deal compared to a lot of people. Once you learn how to flip, which is high school, then you go into college, because once you're wholesaling and flipping and raising money and you stacking even more cash, you need to roll that into a store of value, which is buy and hold. That's college, right? Once you got a bunch of buy and hold like we have a huge portfolio. We have almost 700 properties. What are we doing now? What's
development?
Land development. That's the progression. That is the progression, right? Wholesaling, which is elementary school. Raising private money is middle school. High school is flipping. College is buy and hold. Being a professor is land development, right? If you do it in that order, that is a proper gradient on how to be a professional real estate investor. And eventually, you'll better work your way out of having to do a service-based business, because you can become a full-time real estate investor like me, because that's the cycle. I went service-based business, stacked the cash, started investing in real estate, started buying more shops and owning the shops I had, the mechanic shops. Then took all our money and started buying more real estate, and then was able to exit the service-based side because we had bought so much real estate and we're doing real estate full-time. I was able to get out of the service-based business. But now it comes full circle again. We're getting back in the service-based businesses because we feel like it's time. We can add a bunch of more services, because we spend a ton of money in HVAC.
Well, and just like anything else, the economy, sometimes you just got to pivot. Certain times when some things aren't doing well, other things are. I mean, you have to be fluid with those things.
You got to change.
Yeah. Every time we've ever had a big life struggle, we were like, okay, how can we pivot out of this?
And we end up making more money. It forces you to change.
Yeah. But you have to be willing to change. Yes. Some people are really stuck in their ways, and they were like, nope, this is what I want to do. This is all I care about. And you were like, how can I learn a different skill? We have to pivot and learn a different skill. And it's always worked out for us. But you don't lose the previous skills. You might go back to them one day.
They stack.
So yeah, exactly.
The skills stack. Just like, I mean, now I know how to market. I was really good at sales when I started my service-based business in my 20s. Now I'm a really good marketer. So guess what? Any business I start now is going to go a lot faster than it did when I was in my 20s because I didn't understand the art of marketing, right? So that's where the opportunity is at right now. Is going to be the service-based business if you're in your early 20s and you want to you have no money, you have no resources. That's where you guys need to be looking. And then stack that cash, roll it into real estate. Then once you building up some wealth and maybe 10 years pass by, you need to learn leadership skills. That would be the next thing. That's one thing I didn't have that much of in my 20s. I was too nice, right? That's what you guys need to realize. You're being too nice. I thought I needed to be friends with all my employees, right? My 33 employees. No, they need leadership. You don't need to be nice to them. You can be kind, but you don't need to be nice. That's propitiation. That's bowing down, right? You got to set clear expectations, give them clear rules, give them clear guidelines, and that's where I messed up in my 20s, right? But now it comes full circle. You learn. You learn as you get older. Now I'm 42 years old. I'm a wiser entrepreneur. So service-based businesses. Dump that into real estate investing. If you look at this as a triangle, service-based businesses, real estate investing, leadership. Hit that triangle, right? Hit it, keep hitting. If you hit that triangle, you will build wealth. Just roll all your profits into buying deals in good locations, off-market, direct to seller. Capture equity. And we talked about this. I did a reel the other day about how to get rich for sure. Right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I'm gonna leave you guys with this: is building wealth is a sport. It's no different than you playing baseball, football, anything else. Business is a sport. Building wealth is a sport. That's why you need a coach. And Coach Rood is here to coach you and teach you. If you buy one house a month using my strategy of direct to seller marketing, where you capture equity from a motivated seller. I mean, every property we buy. Yeah. If it's a single family home, we're capturing 30 to 50 grand on every house. If it's a bigger multifamily, I mean, that big mobile home park we bought, we captured about 400 grand in equity. So it's all relative to how many units. I'm going to leave you guys with this. You got to play the long game. You guys want to get rich too quick. Get rich for sure. Stay away from all those get rich quick scams, the Bitcoin, the NFTs, the metaverse shit, all these gurus with pink and purple hair are telling you guys. That's all horse shit. The only people getting rich off of that is the people selling you that horse shit. You look at one house, you buy one house a month. That's 12 houses a year using the direct to seller marketing. And if you don't know how to do all that, I teach all that. I coach all that. Come to one of my events, come to one of my local meetups, one of my masterminds, my coaching. One house a month for 20 years. Now, maybe back up. One house a month that you're averaging, say you're buying a house for $100,000 to $150,000. You're capturing $30,000 to $50,000 on each house because you're finding a motivated seller, and you're capturing equity because it maybe needs a little bit of work. They're in a tough bind. They need to get out of it, so they're willing to trade out equity for a quick sale. That's the first thing you learn how to do. If you buy just one of those houses a month and you're capturing $30,000 to $50,000, that's on each house. That's 240 houses over a 20-year period. That's a long time. 20 years. We buy that many units a year.
Yeah.
Right? So just to give you guys perspective.
But you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. Yeah. Start one house a month. And maybe you just want to buy one house every 3 or 4 months. Yeah. If you do that and you'll capture $40K in equity on each house, 240 houses, that's $9.6 million in equity. Now it gets even better. So you'll be worth $9.6 million in 20 years, but that's not the best part. The best part is you're going to have inflation that's going to help you out, because that house that's worth 150 is going to probably be worth 225 to 250, and you have paid down most of your debt. Those 240 houses are going to be worth $60 million if you bought one house a month for 20 years and you paid down all your debt. That's how you got to think. But you got to play the slow game. So I'm going to leave you guys with this, and I'm going to give it to Big Mama for a little bit. If you want to learn all this, like I said earlier, real estate and business is a sport. You need a coach. I'm telling you things I wish I would have known. I'm giving you guys such valuable information. I wish somebody would have told me this when I was in my 20s. You need to hire a coach. You need to get around entrepreneurs. You need to get around people. Get away from your loser friends from high school and college that ain't doing shit with their life, right? And get out to one of my masterminds or meetups. We do a meetup here in Lafayette every other month called the Alliance Meetup. If you want to come to that, inbox me on social media. We have a quarterly event that we do. We just got back from Colorado Springs. We stayed in a freaking castle that a Civil War hero built.
It was epic.
Unbelievable scene. I mean, it was the most beautiful thing I'd seen in a long time. We do these events all over the country every 3 months. We do coaching, and we partner with our students. We use our coaching company to find the highest quality students that we can partner up with so we can do more deals. The last, I think, 8 or 9 deals we've bought have all been with our students. We're not just the coach that's going to coach you and not do it. We're going to be in the trenches there with you, and we're going to buy deals with you. So inbox me on social media if you want to come out to one of our events. chrisrood.com is our website. If you want to hit me up on there, that website needs to be updated though, because we haven't used it in a while, but we're going to update it. But if you want to just contact me and get in touch, maybe a young entrepreneur watching this, like, man, I really want to do something in my life. I don't feel like an employee. I don't feel like I fit in. I don't feel like I wasn't good at school. All these things that you get labeled. Inbox me. Inbox me on Chris Rood Entrepreneur on Facebook, Real Estate Rood on Instagram, and just say, hey man, I saw your podcast. I want to connect. Right? I love connecting with entrepreneurs. I mean, Patty knows when I get to talk to another entrepreneur, I see myself 20 years ago. Because we're such a small group. We're only 3% of the population. Yet we mingle around the other 97% that are not like us, in a sense that we're very growth driven, usually eccentric, high energy, and just different, right? We want to build, right? So if you want to be around a bunch of awesome people, get to one of my events. It'll blow your mind. Mama Rood, what you got to say?
Well, using this little analogy with the houses, I think when somebody thinks about, well, I want to be a real estate investor, I think it's very overwhelming to the idea of starting to create that. So when you're around somebody who's done it, it starts to be like, oh, like it's a possibility. You just have to be around the right group, and you're going to understand that really it's just one step after the next. And being around those people is going to make it a lot easier to be able to push through and do that.
Well, you realize it's possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're seeing people doing it, right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was possible until I got around people doing it. I mean, masterminds and business conferences changed our business big time. I mean, it made us think bigger. Yeah. Because you realize, man, this guy ain't no smarter than me.
Right.
He just knows something I don't know.
Yeah.
And once you realize that, it's a light bulb goes off, and it's like, okay, I can do this.
And really, a lot of it's mindset, and just that moment right there where you change your mind is powerful, because then you're on your own. You're like into it. You're ready. So I just think, like, even with us, there's a lot of things we don't know. When we go to the masterminds, we're like, oh, we're going to try to do this now. Like, the closer in proximity you are to other people doing it, the more real it gets for you to do it yourself. So.
Yep, 100%. Well, awesome, Mama. That's all you got to say. That was good. All right. Where can they follow you?
I'm on Instagram on Living the Real Estate Life, and I'm also on Facebook with Patty Rood.
All right, we're going to upload this on Spotify and I think, what's the other one called? YouTube and Apple. Yeah, those 3. It'll be uploaded on. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, give us a comment. If you don't like me, you can tell me you don't like me too. I like those comments too. Just give me something. Subscribe.
Or maybe just tell us what you want to hear from us, like what you want us to talk about. We'd like to get different options for different podcasts.
We're going to start doing these a lot more than normal. I'm going to try to do maybe one every other week or one every week, depending on our schedule, at least 2 a month, and upload, because times change, current events change, and you got to stay up to what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind. Technology changes. I mean, all this AI stuff, everybody's freaking out. And by the way, this AI stuff, listen, guys, there ain't no robot that's going to go change your shitty toilet when it's clogged, okay? So don't worry about that. That's people trying to scare you. Ain't nobody no robot is going to come and change your AC, right? Or pick up all the junk in your yard. So that's why I like the service-based businesses. But anyway, appreciate you guys following us. We'll be on the next episode of Beyond the Skills podcast, probably in a week or so. Give us a like, give us a comment. Anyway, keep skilling up.